Hi, in this video we will see how to create a future savings lookup table. A future savings lookup table will let you know at one glance what your savings would be if you saved a certain amount of money at a certain interest rate for a certain number of years. Okay, so it's a very useful table to have in your possession if you are planning to save for the future. So we'll give it a title, Future Savings Lookup Table. So I'll type amount here and put the, let's say you save $100 a year. You can change it anytime you want. Years, this will be our years column, say minimum 3 years, 4, 5. So we will increase the number of years you want to save the money. So you select the three values, then you go to this fill handle, teeny tiny little square at the bottom right of the selection, and we'll go to 25. You can go as many as you want. I'll just go to 25. Then here in row 3 we write interest rate. Okay, so in row 4 we will give the various interest rates that we could possibly get. So 1%, 2%, 3%. So here we can just highlight the three values. Again, click on the fill handle and say we'll go all the way up to 12. Right? So we'll assume we can get up to 12%. Not easy, but we can try. Now at the intersection of the first interest rate 1% and first number of years 3, we are saying at this intersection that our interest rate would be 1% and we'll be saving for 3 years, and we'll be saving $100 a year for 3 years. So we are right here. So to find the formula, we will click on this FX button, which is near the formula bar. So click on the FX button, and here type FV, and hit go. And FV, a future value function, is displayed. So double click on FV, and the dialog box, function arguments dialog box, when you have to tell Excel what is your interest rate, which cell has interest rate, number of periods, and the money that you plan on saving every year, which is the PMT. So our interest rate for the first one is in cell C4, so we click on C4. Number of periods is in cell B5, so click on B5. Payment must be entered as a negative because this is out of your pocket, so first put in the negative symbol or hyphen, then click on the cell, in this case A5, where we have 100, which is like saving $100 a year. You can ignore PV and you can hit OK. Okay, so it tells you that if you save $100 a year for 3 years at 1% interest rate, your amount would be $303.01. Okay, now we need to do this for each of these interest rates that you see in row 4, and also for each of the years. So we have to now create the lookup table. For that we will use what are called Excel's partial reference, so meaning giving partial references in a formula. So as you can see, since my cursor is on cell C5 where we have the first amount, this is the formula bar. In the formula bar you can see the actual formula Excel is using, FV C4 B5 minus A5. Now C4 is referring to the interest rate, and you can see right away all the interest rates are in row 4 but different columns, which means if we drag the fill handle to the right, our interest rate row must not change because all of them are in row 4. However, their column references should change. So it's called a partial reference. So when we click right in the middle of C4 and we hit F4 for the first time, this puts a dollar symbol across C and 4 both, which means the entire cell C4 is absolute, meaning if you copy and paste it will always remain C4, but we don't want that. We want the row to remain 4 but the column to go from C, D, E, F. So we hit F4 one more time. Now this tells us that 4 is absolute, meaning row number is absolute, but the column number is relative, which is what we want. We want, for the interest rate, we want to remain in row 4, but as we move to the right, our column should change to C, D, E, F, G, H, like that, and that is what will happen because C column number is relative and row is absolute because you see the dollar symbol. Here the next one refers to the number of years or periods. Now you can right away see all the years are in column B but different rows, which means the column B should be absolute, meaning there should be a dollar symbol against column number B, but rows should not have a dollar symbol, they should be relative. So we hit F4, which makes the whole thing absolute, which is not right. We hit F4 one more time. Here it's saying the row is relative and the column B is relative and the row is absolute, which is exact opposite of what we want. We hit F4 one more time. Now this is what we need because here the column B has a dollar symbol, which means the column B is absolute, meaning when you move up and down, it will not change the column from B, it will always be B, but the row number will go 5, 6, 7, 8 as you scroll down. Okay. The last one refers to the amount A5, which is our amount, and as you can see it's only in one exact cell, which means it should be an absolute cell reference. So hit F4, your F4 button on your keyboard just once, which makes both A and 5 with the dollar symbol, which means the whole cell address is absolute. Right. Once you do that, you can hit enter. Now we can click on this cell and click on the fill handle and drag it to the right. Right. And then simply double click on the fill handle. See the little teeny tiny square, just double click on the fill handle. And it gives you values for each of the interest rates and years. As you can see, these pound symbols or hash symbols, they appear when Excel cannot fit a value into a column. Easy way is that you click on the intersection of rows and columns right here and you double click on between, you see this line between column, anyone will do, doesn't matter which one. You can simply double click on that line between the column headings, so like this, double click. So this fits it. It's called fit to it, a very neat feature in Excel. Okay, this kind of became a little bit extra wide, so we can just bring it back. To be safe, what you should do is click on this column heading CDE, go all the way to the last column, in this case column N, and then make sure your crosshair cursor is on the right edge, the line between N and O. Press the left mouse button and drag it, make it a little wider. Now we're doing this because as we'll increase the amount, these numbers will start getting bigger and bigger, and you want to make sure all the numbers fit in the column. So now here it's telling us $100 if saved at 1% interest a year for 3 years is 3031. However, if saved at 12% for 25 years is almost 13,333.39. Now we can change this. So say we change it to 500 a year, and all the numbers automatically change. Now it's telling you $500 saved for 3 years at 1% amounts to $1,515.05. But if saved at 12% for 25 years is almost $66,666. Okay, so that's a lot of money. So it's a very neat, simple way in Excel to create a lookup table for your future savings. I will just kind of jazz it up a little bit. So we'll just center this thing by selecting all the columns, hitting merge and center, making it bold. Same thing for the interest rate. We can merge and center, make it bold. If you want, you can also put like a little sort of lines across this if you like lines. That would be right here. So we can put some lines. Now if you want to find out what is the power of compound interest, because this uses compound interest. Basically it adds interest to the principal. Say if you take $500, you save for 25 years at, say, let's take a more realistic interest rate, say 5%, right? So $500 at 5% for 25 years is 23,000, almost 24,000. Now we can find out how much is our principal we saved and how much was the interest, right? Principal, as you can see, is equal, for formula, this value right here times this 25. Okay, and you hit enter. So money out of your pocket was $12,500, right? And interest was the rest. So equal, this is the final amount right here, minus, right? So it's almost as much as your principal, right? If you get a higher interest rate, obviously your interest will be far bigger than your principal. So this is a simple, easy to use system in Excel that you can use to create a lookup table for yourself to find out how much your savings would amount to if you save a certain amount of money every year at a certain interest rate for a certain number of years. So I hope you enjoyed this little video.